Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the DCI number 790F in a US10B. This is a manual flush bolt. This type of flush bolt is used exclusively on wood doors and is incredibly common. And here it is. That's the business end of a 790F in a 613 finish. The 780F is the manual extension style where you have the same flip bolt and the same 6 3/4 by 1, but it's the type that has the rod, the threaded rod that comes up to the bolt head that you'd see on hollow metal doors. Sometimes people will use a 780F, an extension style, because some people say that you remove too much wood from the edge of the door for a 790F. I don't think that I really agree with that. You certainly remove wood from the door, but you also don't have a 12-inch long hole through the stile as well. You've got just the mortise that occurs here. So the 790F, let's take a look at the extended description information. It's a manual flush bolt. That literally means that you've got to unlock it and relock it every single time. A 1-inch bolt head. That's certainly referring to the projection, and you can tailor that. You'd be able to unscrew this bracket and modify the exact projection, and you might need to. You might actually need to reduce it if you had an unusual circumstance at the floor condition. This is going to be 1 inch wide. It's going to be 6 3/4 tall. It's going to have this dimension here on the back side, and we're going to go over the template in a moment. About 2 7/16. Solid brass or bronze material. This would be a bronze-based material in the oil-rubbed finish, which is the 10B. It'd be more appropriate to call this 613, which means 10B doesn't tell you if it tells you it's oil rub, but doesn't tell you the base material. It could be zinc, it could be steel, it could be brass, it could, manufacturers can play fast and loose with US10B, whereas if we called it 613, it would tell you the base material, and that's what this is. This is oil-rubbed bronze on a bronze base material. It's going to be UL listed, as you can see there from the decal, and that's going to be really important to have on your flush bolt. You wouldn't really be permitted to use a manual style flush bolt on a door that is fire rated in most instances, specifically when there is occupancy on the other side of the room, meaning you wouldn't have occupancy in a shallow electric closet on the 10th floor of a condo building where it's only 6 feet deep and 8 foot wide. So you'll see a manual flush bolt on the inactive door in an application like that for a fire rated situation. It's generally permitted in those scenarios. Okay, this is going to include this steel galvanized dust box that is just simply going to install when you get this installed, just like that, to give it a nice clean appearance when it's installed in the door. And sure enough, your mortise is going to look pretty much just like this. You'll have 2 mortises, 3 mortises really to do, and we'll go over that in a moment. You're going to have your strike plate in an oil-rubbed matching finish, except that this is made of steel, whereas that faceplate is not made of steel. The dimensions on the faceplate should be about 2 1/4 by 15 16ths, if my memory serves me. 2 1/4, a little shy on that apparently. No, forgive me, spot on. 15 16ths, right on. And of course you're going to get screws. They'll be in a complementary finish. They're going to be these combination threads that would allow you to put them into wood or metal. But the reason they supply these is because these screws are obviously used with other items like roller latches that you could see installed in either a steel or wood door. Now, there's a link below this video to a document called Product Information, and that is really just simply a catalog cut page, but it also gives us the dimensional properties and, by extension, the machining information as well. And let's take a look at that data that's there and kind of expand the document a little bit. So what we're seeing is the 6 3/4 height. This part of the video is where I'm going to stroll into the machining portion, how to make this work in the door. You can see the 6 3/4 height. You can see the reference to 1 inch wide. So you know what your faceplate is. You know then that you've got 2.5 inches, what they want from the back side of the door to this preparation. They're going to give you that thickness of 5/64. You can see that as well. Then for the faceplate as well, they're going to give you 1/8 of an inch faceplate mortise. Now, you can see from the lower left-hand corner, they're wanting you to do a 6-inch tall mortise at 1 3/8 deep. Let's double check that. They want a 6-inch mortise, top of the door or bottom of the door, to the bottom of that prep, and I'd say 6-inch would be adequate. And it would certainly work because at 6-inch you're not going to run into the screws, but you're going to clear the dust box. 1 3/8 deep. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, you'd be in good shape there. You could obviously make it slightly deeper, maybe 1.5 inches. You just don't want to run into that screw that's there. So 1 3/8 might be right on the money. You might want to cheat that ever so slightly. So mortising this, the way I would do it, not having a CNC machine to do it with, which I've done in the past as well, I would make 2 preparations. I would make the body prep, which is going to be my 6-inch and my 1 3/8, maybe a little heavy on 1 3/8. Then I would reset my router. Oh, the width. They're obviously telling you, according to the template, to do it 1 inch. To do it 1 inch wide. And the truth of the matter is you could certainly cheat that ever so slightly smaller than 1 inch, because the depth here is not, or the width of the dust box is not 1 inch. And along with the router, this is your best friend if you're going to route things. My caliper is telling me that we're at 0.843. 0.843. So I might personally be real tempted to do a smaller than 1 inch preparation, because I would like a little bit of shoulder for the edge of the flush bolt to sit on. I would. It's just the bottom line. But the template's calling for 1 inch. You're probably going to use 1 inch because you probably have a 1 inch bit, etc. Then you're going to come back, because you'll be 1 3/8 all the way out to the top of the door. You'll just come with your router and finish off this area. Pardon me, finish off this area back here. 5/64, 1/8 of an inch. You know, 5/64 and 1/8 are awfully close to each other. You're going to have, and that would be your preparation. You'd have your fixture, you would mortise that body, do the body first, do the deep work, and then do the finished plating work at the very end, so that you reduce the amount of time you've got a plugged-in router touching your woodwork. You want to do just the dress work at the very end of the preparation. You'll have these 2 screws that you see in the installation instructions or the template are already there. You'll secure these 2, pre-drill everything, especially up here as well. Certainly if you're doing a wood door that's fire rated, because that material that's in the style is not going to be wood, and it's not going to tolerate not pre-drilling the material for the screw hole. So be mindful to use the proper hole. And I think if I remember my classwork, you're going to take 90% of the root diameter of your screw for your pre-drill hole. Now the rest of the information that's on that product brochure does relate to the 780, the manual extension that we've talked about, the lever extension they call it. Again, those are used on metal doors primarily, but the 790 would be appropriate for your wood door application, because prepping your wood door for the 780, that can be quite a challenge. Drilling that hole from the top all the way down to the cavity that you've created is generally well beyond what a field installer is going to have in terms of knowledge, skill, experience, really, not skill, experience. Now, how to do it, having done it before and already made the mistakes, but then having the long enough drill bit and a fixture to do it with, you're going to want a corner style like the 790. You know, in fact, could you do it with a hammer and chisel? You could, but you couldn't do a 780 with a hammer and chisel. Okay. Now, the name DCI is synonymous with lots of things trim and auxiliary hardware related. There is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the DCI products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. You'll notice, and if you have more than an occasional need for trim and auxiliary hardware, that you might want to refer to their catalog, because they have great value, great fit and finish on their material, but they also have a unique line of exit devices under the Panex name, and you will probably, if you do contractual work when it comes to doors and hardware, I think eventually you'll bump into that specification. DCI, that's the name synonymous with that. There is a link below this video as well to the technical drawing, or template I should say, that will be most likely included with your package. If for some reason it's not, it's on the website as well. Any questions on the 790F and a US10B? And by the way, it's available. Let me tell you the different finishes. Not a lot of them, but your polished brass, your satin brass, US3, US4, polished and satin brass, US10 for satin bronze, US10B for oil rub bronze, US26 polished chrome, US26D satin chrome, so 6 finishes. Any questions on the 790F and a US10B finish, or any other DCI product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.